Hey everyone, I just wanted to start by thanking all of you for the incredible support on the recent videos, and also a huge thank you to our newest Patreon members, Applejuiceable, Jason S., Morgan B., and Connellberg. I very much appreciate it, everyone. And just a quick reminder that tomorrow, Friday, May 3rd, we'll be having a live stream here on YouTube, so I can thank all of you for helping us get to 200,000 subscribers here on the channel. The live stream will start at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, a bit later than our regular Friday live streams, but we'll catch up on all of the recent news, play some games, and just have a great time discussing all things Star Wars. Thank you very much again, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. For millennia, the Sith dedicated themselves to the vision of Darth Bane, hiding in the shadows so the Sith could gain power in secret, emerging when the Jedi and Republic were weak enough to be overthrown, ushering in an era of Sith dominance over the galaxy. But by the reign of Darth Sidious as Dark Lord, the commitment to the rule was all but abandoned. Not only did he achieve the ultimate goal of the Sith, but Sidious viewed the rule of two as having naturally ended with him, culminating in a reign over the galaxy for millennia. The rule of two was less important by Sidious's era than it had been centuries earlier. Under these conditions, we have to ask, did Darth Vader know about the rule of two, either through his own discoveries or passed down from his master Sidious? In this video expose, we'll answer this question from both a Canon and Legends perspective. Let's start with the Legends version of events. In Legends, Sidious, a longtime collector of dark side lore, created a collection of Sith writings known as the Book of Sith. Within the collection were the writings of important and influential Sith Lords throughout the Order's history, including Darth Plagueis, Darth Malgus, and importantly for our purposes, Darth Bane. Darth Bane's writings that Sidious included were dedicated to explaining the rule of two, both what it was and why it was necessary. We can reasonably deduce that Sidious passed along the Book of Sith to his apprentice Darth Vader, including the section written by Bane. First, we know for a fact that Vader had access to Darth Malgus's journal within the Book of Sith, receiving it as a work to study and gain knowledge from by Sidious. Vader made his own personal notes within the margins of Malgus's journal, leaving no doubt that Vader had access to it, and it's also heavily implied that Vader had access to the other works in the book as well, including Darth Bane's entry discussing the rule of two. I believe this is a reasonable conclusion, as Sidious shared Darth Bane's writings with his previous apprentice Dooku. We know this because Dooku subsequently shared Bane's writings with his dark acolyte Quinlan Vos, much to the dissatisfaction of Sidious. Sidious clearly put together the Book of Sith to pass on the most important knowledge of the dark side and Sith Order. Because we know even Dooku had access to Bane's writings, and Vader definitely had access to at least Malgus's entry, it's extremely likely Sidious shared the books with Vader, granting him knowledge of the rule of two through Bane's own words. But is there a work in Legends that makes this conclusion undeniable, that shows Vader knew there was a rule of two and what it meant? Fortunately, there is. Within the Legends novel, The Rise and Fall of Darth Vader, we see Vader specifically refer to the Rule of Two, and its requirement that there only be two Sith Lords in the post-Darth Bane era. A reference to the Rule of Two was actually made by Vader during a scene in The Empire Strikes Back, where Sidious reveals to his apprentice he had no doubt the rebel pilot who destroyed the Death Star was the offspring of Anakin Skywalker, a truth Vader already knew himself. When Vader suggested Luke would become a powerful ally if he could be turned to the dark side, Vader was quite shocked to see the Emperor was intrigued by the idea, even accepting. As the novel makes clear, Vader's thoughts immediately went towards the Rule of Two, knowing it had long been established and practiced by the Sith, and it required the existence of only two Sith at any one time, one master and one apprentice. Importantly, Vader knew there wasn't room within this rule for a third Sith Lord, and therefore, he viewed Sidious's openness to making Luke an ally with great skepticism. Because the Rule of Two allowed for only two Sith, he knew he would have to find Luke before Sidious did, as eventually, one of them would have to fall to satisfy the rule's requirements. Therefore, it's clear in Legends that Vader knew about the Rule of Two and what the rule meant within the lineage of the Sith Order. But can we say the same about Vader's knowledge within the current canon? I believe we can say he undeniably did when looking at the 2015 Darth Vader comic and the novel Thrawn Alliances. In the aftermath of the Battle of Yavin, Vader was summoned by Sidious to the Super Star Destroyer, the Executor, which was still under construction. Having recently discovered the plot by Sidious to replace Vader with someone more powerful, the Dark Lord explained his thoughts, detailing the history of the Sith that would require the formation of the Rule of Two. Sidious explained that long ago, the Sith were numerous, forming legions in their great numbers that would rise up against the light side of the Force and the Jedi that venerated it. The result was warfare against the Jedi, the ancient enemy of the Sith, as the two orders struggled for control of the galaxy and the eradication of the opposing viewpoints. But Sidious recognized the Sith didn't merely war against the Jedi, but also each other, not unexpected among those who followed the dark side. As Sidious would continue, there would be a clear result from the infighting that plagued the Sith. The power of the dark side would be held by only two Sith at a time, one master and one apprentice. And this Rule of Two would guide the Sith for generations, building towards its apex and the successes brought forth by Sidious himself. Therefore, this issue in the 2015 Vader comic clearly shows that Sidious didn't withhold information or knowledge about the Rule of Two from Vader, and explained the need for only one master and one apprentice, born out of the infighting that hurt the Sith Order. But this isn't the only reference to Vader's knowledge about the Rule of Two in canon. In fact, it's clear that this scene from the comic wasn't the first time the Rule of Two was discussed in detail between Sidious and Vader. As seen in last year's novel Thrawn Alliances, Vader had long been made aware of the Rule of Two in canon. There's a great scene in Thrawn Alliances where, after being sent to investigate a disturbance in the Force on the outer edges of the galaxy, Vader sensed and uncovered the existence of numerous Chiss who were Force sensitive and likely also Force users. This new discovery caused Vader to question exactly what it meant, and speculate if the existence of unknown Force-sensitive Chiss, at least to Vader, was the reason for the private meetings between Sidious and Thrawn. As Vader thought more and more about the possibilities, the Sith Lord thought that a new war would break out should these Force users be akin to Jedi. But an even worse possibility for Vader was that they might also be Sith, a possibility that Vader viewed as potentially disastrous. Even before the conversation with Sidious depicted in the Vader comic, Vader knew the problems that could arise through the existence of numerous Sith. Vader's thoughts went to the Rule of Two, recognizing that the rule is what specifically saved the Sith within the known galaxy from the internal warfare that threatened the Order's existence due to their own self-destruction. Vader was worried that the existence of these new unforeseen Force users represented new Sith that had to be taken care of if he and Sidious were going to continue their rule over the galaxy. Therefore, just as in Legends, it's clear that Vader had at least a basic understanding of the Rule of Two, where it required the existence of only one master and one apprentice, and where it served to rescue the Sith from the infighting that threatened the Order. Unfortunately, we don't yet see the name Darth Bane associated with Vader's knowledge of the rule in canon, but hopefully, that won't be the case for much longer. So there we have it, Vader's knowledge of the Rule of Two as seen in both canon and Legends. We love making these videos, so why not subscribe for more fun Star Wars theories and discussions. Also, if you enjoyed the video, think about giving a like or leaving a comment. Or perhaps follow us on Twitter at SW Reading Club for updates regarding the channel. Or support the channel through Patreon for access to exclusive rewards and discussions. If not for me, for hopefully not much longer anyway.